Hi guys, and welcome back to another fly fishing video. I'm back in Llangollen for the Hanach International Grilling Festival. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, the Hanach International. If you follow the channel, you might have seen some of the other videos I've done on this competition. Now, it's one of the most friendly competitions we have in this country. Between this and the Grayling Classic on the River Test, you won't meet a friendlier bunch of anglers. So if you're new to competition fishing and you can get a place, I would thoroughly recommend that you come and give the Hanach a go. So how does it work? It's fairly simple. There's 3 anglers in a team. I'll be fishing with Del Spry and Steve Cullen this year. What happens is there's 3 sessions over the 2 days. So teams will be arriving today in Llangollen, and tomorrow they may get out and practice. They may might well just stay in and recover from their hangovers. Who knows? But whatever happens, on the Saturday there is 2 sessions to fish. So how does the competition work? It's fairly straightforward. From the 3 anglers, 2 anglers will fish in the river, and the 3rd angler will control the team on the beat above. You get a section of water in the beat, and that's yours for the allotted time span. Now, on the Saturday there's 2 sessions, on the Sunday there's 1 session, which is slightly longer than the Saturday's beat. The angler that's controlling the other team's job is to make sure that they're safe, make sure they don't wade too deep or wade into uncontrollable water. Nobody wants to see anyone floating down the river, and it has happened in previous years. The controller's other job then is to measure each grayling that is caught by the opposing team and recording it on a score sheet. The score sheet at the end of the session is then handed to the beat sector controller, and that goes back to the Hand Hotel. The Dee is known for its larger fish, so recording the size accurately is really important, as there is a prize for the biggest fish. It would be remiss of me not to show you a little of the Dee Valley, an area of outstanding natural beauty. The Hanach International Grayling Festival helps support the River Dee Trust, and last year made a donation of £6,200. The Trust's role is to help restore the brooks and streams and rivers of the Dee catchment in North Wales for both wildlife and people. So let's talk about tackle requirements for fishing the competition. Primarily, the first line of attack is going to be nymphs. Grayling spend a lot of time near the river bed. Rods for nymphing can vary from 2 weights up to around 4 weights. Anything heavier runs the risk of bouncing fish off once you have hooked them. As far as length goes, a longer rod is better, and many competitors are using 11-foot rods for a 2 weight and a 3 weight. I use a Hanach 10-foot Superb for a 3. It is a compromise, but works for me. 10 foot gives less control than say an 11-foot rod, but is lighter, which is a consideration when fishing all day. The 3 weight offers all but the very lightest of tippets a good cushion, which absorbs the shock of a savage take. I could go into tippet materials diameter versus strength, but it is probably a topic for another video. It is always worth having a dry fly rod. Even in the depths of winter, the grayling can come to the surface and be very active during a hatch. I would usually use an 8-foot 6 for a 3 weight rod, but other competitors often just use their nymphing rod and change through to dry flies. Other considerations then. The beats are pegged, and at the captain's meeting in the Hand Hotel on the Friday night, you are given the first 2 beats for the Saturday and Sunday sessions. Having fished the competition for many years, experience will give us a clue as what to expect. First peg is fresh water and will usually be well rested. The next thing to consider is the anglers that have fished your next peg. There are some hugely talented and experienced teams in this competition, and it is a little unlucky if you are following one of them. There are 3 sectors that are labelled A, B and C, and they hold the pegs 1 to 11. Each team is allocated a sector and a peg. I was to control the Wet Your Knot team on the first session at peg A5. My teammates would be fishing A4 on the beat directly below. I was very pleased as I have known these anglers for many years. A5 is excellent water and I expected to be kept busy measuring fish. It was a cold start however, with temperatures slow to rise from the -5 at the start of the session. Ben got the show on the road with a grayling in the first half hour. The first fish is always important as it settles the nerves and gets you off the mark. Ben continued to pick away, building a steady number of fish on the card. Julian was soon hot on his heels and the guys did keep me busy, working the whole beat to get the maximum number of fish in the allotted time. Julian and Ben done exceptionally well and finished with a credible 16 grayling on the card. My teammates had fished exceptionally well considering the beat, posting a total of 14 grayling. Competing and filming unfortunately don't go hand in hand, so apologies for the lack of footage for the next 2 sessions. If you're enjoying the videos, please don't forget to leave them a like. Consider subscribing to the channel, it's absolutely free and you can unsubscribe at any time. So, let's jump straight back in. After lunch, Del and I had peg B1. We had both fished this peg 3 times previous and knew that we were in for a tough time of it. We were to be controlled by James Rice for the session. We set a target of 12 fish, but sadly worked really hard for only 8. We were both a little disappointed because it would mean that we would drop fairly far back in the pegging order, but we were surprised to see in the evening that we were only just outside the top 10, all to play for to break back into that top 10. This year, the beats for Sunday were a lucky draw for the last session. Steve and I drew beat C7. Again, both Steve and Del had previous experience of the beat and we agreed that we could do well from it. However, the beat took a bit of locating and we arrived a little late. Our controller, Kieran Riley, was kind enough to give us time to compose ourselves and set up. We got off to a great start, with Steve finding the fish before I had stepped into the river, taking 2 fish very quickly. Our target for the session was 16 and we were off to a great start. The fish came in batches, 2 or 3 then nothing for a while. We finished with 17 fish, which from our study of the day before's numbers was good enough for a session win. Unfortunately, the Wet Your Knot team thought better of it, catching an amazing 31 fish from beat C10. This was a fantastic achievement and would see them defend their title for 1 more year. Top angling from top guys. Well done to all the prize winners for their efforts during the competition. But I must make special mention of Harry Parr, the oldest competitor. At over 70 years old, I take my hat off to you, sir. For our part, we finished 5th, which was an amazing achievement considering our position after the first day's competing. I will put a picture of the results on the screen now, and if you wish to pause and go through, you are more than welcome. Many thanks to Howell and Dylan for all their efforts during this competition. Without these guys working hard behind the scenes, it just wouldn't happen. Folks, I really appreciate you watching the videos and listening to my inane drivel throughout the year. It's been a blast. I've got to fish in many different locations this year. I don't think I could pick a favourite, but I probably won't get out again this side of 2023. Sadly, when I was on the Dee, I really hurt my knee badly and it is still giving me quite a bit of pain, so there will not be very many fishing videos in the near future. But thanks again for watching and hopefully I'll be seeing you on the bank or in a boat in the new year.